not live yet. So there we go. YouTube is live. We're live on both platforms, Facebook and YouTube concurrently. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Just thought I would get this morning cardio done. I just did an hour walk. I did that just in the tubes. Now I'm going to get on my bike because it's going to start raining. It's going to be bad connection out there. It's a training day. I still haven't even edited the vlog yet. I have to edit all that. Yes, I cut myself a little shaving. Got to change razors again on the new razor. But again, got an hour done on a full body workout. Friday trained really hard. Did plenty of arms and pullovers and stuff also at the end. Did some breathing squats. I went ahead and did a Widowmaker squat and then followed it up with a deep pullover afterwards, kind of just to start the workout, doing some really old school bodybuilding type stuff there. And yeah, we did a nice hard full body workout, almost everything to failure. And again, did an hour walk, fasted. Now we're going to get this bike time in. We're going to stream to both platforms. Going to drink coffee while we do it. So again, I do just black coffee in the mornings while we do our fasting. And we'll see how this goes. The views might be a little low. We did okay, actually. We got a couple hundred views in the first one on the walk. But it takes a moment, I think, with the when I switch over to the bike, and I haven't done it for a while, takes a moment to get the feet. Hey, Peppermint, you're the first one in here. You're the first one in. So I'm streaming both platforms. Peppermint, if you want to hit Facebook up too, it would be helpful. You can hit both. I don't know if you follow me on Facebook. The guy Carol in here does, guys. So he caught me on Facebook the other day after. But yeah, let's get some conversations. Let's get some chats going. I'll have to tab between the two platforms to check for questions on each. But yeah. So what do you got going on, Peppermint? How we doing? I'm on my phone, so I can only follow on tubes. Okay, well, that's all good, man. It's all good. But I'll try and set that up. You probably won't be able to watch both on the phone. And that's okay. It's all good, man. At least you're in one of them. You're regular in both. Just finishing off some stuff. Cool, man. You at work or you training? I know you're in the UK, so you're not celebrating the 4th of July. There's my British friends called it Happy Trader Day to me. Getting a couple of apples working. Gotcha. Oh, man. Going to have a whole other pot of coffee here. I'm going to drink the coffee kind of late this morning. It keeps me from getting hungry. I'm going to wait till at least noon to eat. Like I said, I went over on my food yesterday after doing over 4 hours of fasted cardio, so I'm going to tighten that up for the weekend. This weekend needs to be super tight on cardio, super tight on the diet, and hopefully get some consultations. And I have 2 people who wanted consultations this weekend. I hope they schedule them. But if not a big deal, right? Ain't no thing, guys. Well, I just realized I can multitask while I'm doing this. I can literally post memes in the group while chatting with you people and answering questions, right? Oh, man. Those meme group posts. I'm back. It's letting me post in groups again. That's money, right? Everything has to be monetized on the internet. Check Facebook. Hey, Billy's in here. What's up, Billy? How you doing? Hey, Billy, I'm double streaming. I'm on both platforms. I'm on YouTube and Facebook. But if you ask any questions in here, I'll come back and forth and get to you also. All right. Billy's one of my clients. Your mic is peaking and sounds keeps clipping, by the way. Let me see if I can adjust the volume. The volume shows decent. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm on the Blue Yeti. It could be because I'm streaming both. Let me see if I need to close any other stuff out. It may be too many things open. All right, see if that helps. So let me know if that's any better. You should lower the gain. There is no setting. Alan, you don't have control on that stuff for my software. I don't have any control over the gain. There is none. And then YouTube automatically messes with my volume depending on the settings it wants. It changes my settings on my computer. Like it goes in and messes with it. So, you know, it doesn't look like it's changed anything though. Is it still doing it? I think maybe I just had too many things open. But yeah, because I'm streaming both devices. I'm streaming both platforms. Still clipping a lot. I don't know what clipping means. Could you maybe describe that? Michael says, morning coach, could you share some insight on training with reps in reserve? Is it a method worth using and should it be applicable to all exercises or just certain ones? I'm not big on leaving a lot of reps in reserve. Like 1 rep in reserve can be fine. 0 can be fine. I train most of my stuff to failure right now. If you notice, you literally see me hitting the pins on most of my squats and bench press. It chops the sounds. Okay. Wonder if there's anything else I can do with that. I mean, I use a really good mic. I use a Blue Yeti. So I thought if I put it in front of the screen, it would show. Now I have to pull it all the way around. The mic's next to it right now. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that then. I don't really have any other sound settings. Like there's nothing else I can adjust. So, hopefully it's good. The more you guys hit like though, you got multiple people asking questions in YouTube and only 1 like. It's not bothering you. Is it not bothering you, Peppermint, or you don't hear it? Like, are you hearing it? It's just not an issue. You guys got to help me with the sound control. So Billy asked me on Facebook, how accurate would you say those scales are that measure body fat? By accurate meaning, is there any science behind it? No, those scales don't actually have any biological ability to measure your body fat. It's a nice theory, but the reality is they can't actually really do it. So you're talking about the bioimpedance scales. They're horrifically inaccurate. A proper body fat, if you really want to know, if you care enough to really and truly know your body fat, a DEXA scan is a gold standard. It runs about $100 a scan. So you got to set it up. It'll take you about an hour to do it. So I've done 3 of them in the past. Put them up. So yeah, it's about $100 to get your body fat accurately measured. It's called a DEXA scan. Anything else, those scales don't work at all. Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, not a big deal. You can always use the mirror, use a waist measurement and the scale. Not that big of a deal. Not bothering me. Okay, back over to the YouTube. Volume is good. It's good. Just some settings. There's no other settings on it. I only have volume. That's like all I can do. Are you doing cardio for cutting purposes or GBP for cutting purposes? I'm hearing feedback, but that's not bothering me. Okay, fair enough. It could be a YouTube trying to access both mics, but it should only be the Bluetooth mic. It shouldn't be trying to get to my webcam mic. No, casing, it's purely for cutting. It's just to create a calorie deficit with less cardio. And the strategy here, I feel like a broken record. Okay. The strategy, do tons and tons of cardio to get lean. And then when I get to my goal body fat, trim the cardio out without having to change calories and having to rebound. Right? That's the idea. Literally just using it to create a calorie deficit. I'm pretty good at tuning stuff out, so I don't really hear it unless I try to. Okay, fair enough. Peppermint, was it doing it on the bike ones before I started multi-streaming? Or did it start only when I started doing Facebooks at the same time? Billy says, what about those new apps you use to take photos of food that are supposed to estimate the calories? I honestly don't know, Billy. I have no clue on the accuracy of those. I need to do further research on that as far as if they actually work. They might. I mean, AI is getting better. So that might be workable. I mean, I guess if you photoed every last drop of food you did, it would probably work. Maybe. I don't know how it's going to get all of that, though, as far as a 3-dimensional model. It's almost easier to just kind of track your food and know what you eat, it seems to me. Probably still would be more accurate. But I mean, maybe the technology might be there. I've heard of those apps. I haven't researched them that closely, to be honest. Right. Where are we at on YouTube? No new questions on YouTube. All right. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I've heard of some people using those apps. So, I mean, they might actually work. You might have to dig into it a little bit. Let me know what you find. I haven't had time to really dig into that much. And I hate to make recommendations of stuff I haven't used personally. Singh says, what are your thoughts on the NBA players getting more Achilles injuries as a result of weak calves? I don't know. I don't know that they're getting more injuries all of a sudden. I don't follow basketball, so I really don't know if there's a change in the higher rate of Achilles injuries all of a sudden. Right? And it could literally be something in their training. It could be a new drug they're all using. What do you make of some people's claims that they added 7 to 8 inches of their vertical leaps? That seems a little unlikely, given the genetic tendency of it. I don't know. That seems unlikely. It seems like a marketing strategy to sell you vertical leap programs. All right. I don't know. Always strange. I look different on the Facebook cam versus the YouTube. It's kind of funny. I think I do. 4 or 5, maybe 7 to 8 seems really excessive, given again the genetic tendency of how vertical leap works, it being so genetic based. Just going with my gut instinct there. If it doesn't rain, I might go do a walk here later, though. Anyways, I just really like my walks, but we can double down here, so that's always good. Assuming we get any YouTube, the YouTube views are really slow on this one today. Really slow today. I don't know. I think we'll try to stick out the hour anyways, though. It always can pick up. We never know. These pick up, it does really good. Like these pay a lot more money. That big beautiful bill passing. We don't do non-fitness talk, Alan. All right. Have you taken out or added anything recently for your diet that you felt improved your training or general health? I put some healthy fats back in. I was running a little too low of fat. I feel like I do better when I throw some avocados and healthy fats back in. Casing. I feel like when my fat goes too low, I'm a little prone to inflammation if I don't get enough healthy fats. I've noticed that, especially when my workloads are really, really high. So for me, that's been one of the reasons I've kind of said, I think guys like, Dulce and stuff are right. We probably do need kind of to be hitting that 0.3 to 0.4 grams of fat per pound, the body weight of healthy fats, right? I'm not telling you to go add saturated fat. You've been coaching for many years. What separates clients who succeed from those who quit? I can't give you an answer on that right now, Michael, because these days the economy is the number one driver of clients leaving. Most of the clients I've lost were happy with their results. They're happy with the coaching. They literally just couldn't afford it. But as far as clients who fail to reach their goals, refusal to make lifestyle changes. I usually find the clients who just don't really get the results, the ones who refuse to give up cocaine, refuse to give up binge drinking. Those are usually the number one guys who really I struggle to get on the results. It's usually the alcoholism and the cocaine is usually the big ones. Like you can't get them to come off. They feel like I have to do my nose candy every Friday night out with the boys. Those are usually your big ones. The ones who can't give up their substance abuse, it's really a problem. Also, the work ethic side, right? There's definitely can be the work ethic side in the gym. The guys who just refuse to use the good form and pretend, and they don't always train hard enough. They won't get their form tight. They won't take the form advice I give, usually high on the list. I don't know. There's other factors. Those are usually the big ones I find, or the inability to take instructions. Yeah, I had a client try to blame me, but it's also, I made a new policy based on that client because a client insisted they needed to do something, and I'm not going to go into all of it. I will never take a recovered eating disorder client who's been diagnosed with anorexia or bulimia before. It's a hard stop. So I've had a client definitely blame me for that with their former eating disorder. They said they were fully recovered in remission, and it was a problem. What's up, Carol? Carol, I'm also on Facebook. I'm doing both. We've got a Facebook question. How much fiber per day do you recommend? How much water to drink? Water is based on thirst. I don't think we have specific water needs. You know, the eight glasses is a good one, but it can vary depending on how much you're sweating. Fiber, to be fair, as much as you can handle. I'm going to say for most grown men, though, really, like your bare minimum to not be horrifically unhealthy is 10 grams per 1,000 calories. 20 grams per 1,000 is better, but let's just be realistic. For most men, I'm going to say 40 to 50 grams really should be your minimum for optimal health. I do more, considerably more some days. But right, probably 40 to 50 grams is really a good solid number. Right. And in terms of water, it really depends on individual hydration needs. How much are you sweating? How thirsty do you get? How much of it do you need to help control appetite? It can be good for controlling appetite with lots of fiber in your diet, but I don't think we have to force water. Carol says, we keep grinding. There we go, Carol. My last cheat meal was on Christmas Day. I don't want to go down the list. It was a bunch of stuff. So my last cheat meal was at Christmas. I didn't really cheat even like New Year's Eve. I mean, I was on lower carbs at the time. So, I mean, I did have a little bit of some filet mignon with bacon and some, you know, stuff like that. I did have that. So I think that counts. I had bacon, right, on New Year's Eve. So that's the last time I've had any real junk. I mean, I had some barbecue with white rice, I think early January, maybe. Pretty much it. I haven't had anything like that in a while. But I mean, as far as the cheat meal at Christmas, I walked in fasted into the afternoon. I mean, I had pie, cookies, chips and dip. Is it possible to lose taste for a cheat food you'd love to eat but haven't eaten in several months? Yeah, sure. I mean, Alan, taste and taste buds and cravings are completely subjective. They're subject to change all the time. You literally might have a cheat food that you love that you just get sick of one day. Like, do the cravings subside? Yeah, they might. Those things are subject to change all the time. All right, let's come over to Billy on Facebook. What would be the best way to eat for a fitness at a typical 4th of July barbecue? Like anything else, Billy, go in fasted. Go to the barbecue completely fasted and hit the vegetables and lean protein on the first plate. It's always my advice. So don't eat breakfast first. Go to the barbecue. There's always going to be some lean meat options. People almost always have a veggie tray or some vegetables. Hit the vegetables and a lean protein or lean meat first to break your fast. Then it makes the rest of it easier. You're unlikely to create a big calorie surplus if you do that fasted. You walk in and hit those first, and then just eat the normal food. But obviously go heavy on the meat. The more protein you get with it, the higher the thermic effect, the better the overall satiety will be. But always the first plate, always hit the vegetables and a lean protein, a chicken or something first before you get all the other barbecue. And then go ahead and just eat your stuff. And if you walk into it fasted and it's a one-time deal, any weight you gain is going to be purely water. So I did that even at Christmas, and I ate all that pie and other stuff. I gained 1 pound overnight. You know? So that works really well. All right, back over to YouTube. Coach, I've been very impressed. Ted in his latest training vlogs, yeah, he's been coming along. How long have you been super disciplined with your diet, and how do you feel much better? Casing, I don't have an answer. I mean, I started getting super disciplined with my diet when I lost 100 plus pounds 25 years ago. I mean, these days I've been super disciplined more and more. I did gain some fat when I was doing lower carb because I was doing too much of that lower carb whole milk. It seemed like it pushed my calories up too high, too much saturated fat earlier in the year. But I mean, it was still disciplined, but it was, our hot dogs are reasonable. And I don't know what's in a hot dog. Probably not. They're probably really high fat. They're also going to be a refined red meat, processed red meat, so they cause cancer and other stuff. It's not something you should be eating every day, Alan. You're talking about as a cheat meal at a 4th of July? That's different. Definitely not something you should be eating on a regular basis, though. Right? Hopefully we all understand this. So no, they're not a reasonable protein source. Like, come on, guys. Lunch meats aren't either. This is all refined with nitrates and stuff in it. I don't think people are understanding what a whole food means. Just eat a steak or some chicken, guys. This isn't difficult. I think that's how sad we are as a society, to where we're literally, well, can we do this? And I'm like, dude, it's got all this garbage in it. Why can't you just eat some chicken? Why can't you just eat a lean cut of steak? This isn't hard, people. But again, I get it as a cheat meal, but definitely not as a regular staple. Like, you just shouldn't be eating that stuff regularly, unless you want cancer. Yeah. Leon says, hey, Jason. Hey, Leon. How you doing, man? Jason, I know you mentioned that 40-year-olds should strive for a 400 squat 5 deadlift, but what if 40-year-old told you to? Oh, all right. Next. Thoughts on a recent study of intermittent fasting with links to higher cardiovascular risk. I'm not aware of any links to higher cardiovascular risk in the recent one. I don't think it was that recent. I think that was pretty largely debunked with some other stuff. As definitely correlation and not causative. That wasn't that recent, though. I think I saw that sometime back. But I do intermittent fasting. I'm happy with it. Most people have really considerably better metabolic health doing it. Leon says, looking clean, brother. Thank you. Carol, Jason, you squatting knees over toes or more sitting back? I always sit back. I mean, the knees might be going over the toes. I need to check. I mean, you can see the screenshots from the side. They might push past because I squat pretty deep. But I always try to sit back. Right? But if you go deep enough, you're invariably going to have some knee slide. If you're going deep, which is fine. As long as you're still pushing the hips back. Like, you're not going to get a true vertical shank on a normal deep back squat unless you're going crazy wide, right? You got to go crazy wide, really serious low bar to not have any knee slide. And then we're definitely not getting the best quad stimulus. But I'm not super, super crazy wide on them right now. Doing a nice moderate low bar. Just outside of shoulder width, toes out a little. Okay. Yeah, keep that in mind, Billy, with stuff like that. They're looking at correlation, not necessarily causative. There's not really any data that shows that intermittent fasting is going to have any causation towards cardiovascular risk. A lot of people who are choosing to go over to intermittent fasting have previous health concerns and obesity, though, that may be some correlation happening, right? Why do we only have 2 likes on YouTube with this many questions and people? Hey, Carol, did you not hit like? Leon, you didn't hit like? Casey, come on, guys. Get those likes up on here. All right. So Billy asks on Facebook, Jason, with all your increased cardio lately, an effect on your training recovery? Yeah, definitely. My squat has regressed a little bit. My squat strength is down a bit. Otherwise, no. Recovery itself has been good on everything else. My upper body is doing great. Right, I'm retaining upper body strength, performance, everything really, really well. Some of my stuff is PR'd slightly, at least from the previous phase. So upper body, fantastic, no problems. My squat has regressed a bit, but I'm also down, 17 pounds. I'm doing hours of fasted cardio a day. So there's going to be, something's got to give somewhere. And if nothing else, the fat loss itself. So definitely a little bit on the squats, but I mean, we expect that. I mean, it's not just the cardio, it's the calorie deficit and weight loss being part of all of it. But really, we're still going to be better off doing large amounts of bliss cardio in terms of recovery versus, most other methods we could do to create a deficit. But at the end of the day, any energy deficit that you're creating, there's going to be something that gives somewhere. Right? If it's a significant deficit, because mine is significant. We're not just, hey, let's lose a pound a month. It's a significant deficit. All right. Jason, sorry, I got to wait for that to appear. Coach, do you like the sissy squat machines that locks your ankles? The machines? I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen a machine. Are you talking about that little device? It's not a machine. I have one of those, but it's not a machine. You're talking about the little stand. Yeah, I like those. I have one. I might work it back in eventually. Pretty solid piece of equipment. It's useful. Small, compact, gets it done. Yeah, it's definitely not. This doesn't count as a machine. It doesn't move. No, I like those. I think they're a good supplemental exercise. All right. Coach, what are the top 3 machines? I got to find 3. Reverse hyper. Dip machines can be decent. All other hammer strength machines, maybe is 3rd. Is doing 3 10-minute walks better than doing 1 30-minute walk, or is it? Hey, Casey, I have no idea. I literally have no idea how to answer that question. I don't think you're going to find an answer to that. Whether doing 3 10-minute walks is better than doing 1 30-minute walk, who knows? I would probably say it just makes more sense to do the 30-minute, but we have no evidence or anything involving to my knowledge, any hypothesis as to why any one of those would be better than another. No idea. But just getting some step counts in any way that you can is probably not a bad idea. Right? Not a bad idea. All right. At least it didn't rain out there. I still wanted to get a bike one in. I need to get more of these bikes in so we can double stream. Still doesn't mean I won't try to do another walk here later. How high is the resistance on the bike? I don't know. So I believe it's on setting number 6 out of 8. So there's my resistance. No, I don't get a quad pump because this is less cardio. I get a quad pump from my squats, but it's enough that it burns. It's challenging enough that it raises my heart rate and breathing. That's the idea. It's list cardio. So no, we shouldn't be getting a pump from list cardio. You're not going to do it for 30 minutes or an hour straight if you're getting a pump, that's for sure. But it is more intense than the brisk walking. Yeah, it's a higher intensity of cardio. But as far as any of that, that's an arbitrary number. I gave you 6 out of 8 on this bike that's 10 years old that they don't make anymore. So, I don't know how useful that is for you. Has a digital readout, but I haven't replaced the batteries in 10 years. So I can't read it. Mm-hmm. People overthink their list cardio a little too much sometimes. We're just doing lists. How hot is it? I don't know. What part of Texas? You need to be very specific. Texas is massive. Texas is bigger than India. How hot is it in India today? Where I'm at, it says it's 83, so it's not hot at all. So it's not hot. 83 Fahrenheit is what my computer says. So I live just north of Houston. So it's overcast, so it's not that hot. Texas is bigger than the UK, too. Peppermint. Texas is 1,500 kilometers across and 1,500 kilometers tall. So we put it into your measurements. That's why when people say that, I'm like, no, when we say Texas is big, we're not just making a joke. It really is that big. It's 1,500 kilometers across and top to bottom. It's 83 while overcast. It's been 98, 97 during some of my walks. India is 5 times bigger than India. What? I just made that up. I don't know if it's bigger than India, by the way. Just FYI, I made that up. Off the top of my head. Just the truth. But, you guys can go look up the size. So there's your context. It's pretty big. You can't get on one side of Texas and get in your car on the freeway and get across it in 6 or 7 hours. You can't do it. All right. So we measure everything in hours. So to get to Dallas from me in Houston, north into Houston, is a 4.5 hour drive by car with no stops. And they're both on the east half of the state. East third, actually. San Antonio is like a 12 or 13 hour drive. And again, that's not a freeway. That's if you don't stop. You just go the whole time down the highway. Hey, Shemer, that's not a fitness-related question. Next, we need to get off these topics back over to fitness. I'm breaking my own rule. I got to ban myself now. I'm making non-fitness related conversation. I have to ban myself from my own channel in the live streams. Bad. All right. Anything going on? Billy asked on Facebook, do you ever use squat shoes anymore? No, I haven't been. I just do everything barefoot. For those who aren't aware, I'm streaming on Facebook and YouTube concurrently, so I'm tapping back and forth for the questions. I had to slap myself for answering a non-fitness related stuff. All right, back over to the point. Actually, I shouldn't have even answered how hot is it, other than I guess it's fitness because I'm doing cardio and stuff. I gotta remember to stay on to do that and enforce my own rules. No non-fitness topics in the live streams for YouTube. All right, Facebook can be a little different because I discuss occasionally other stuff there. My YouTube needs to be 100% fitness only channel. All the time, every time, nothing else. All right. Yeah, I know Brits talk about the weather. Peppermint. Well, Governor, you think it's going to be humid out there today? You got a license for that humidity? You can't have humidity without a license for it. You can't do anything without a license there. Well, you got to have a license to lift them weights. You'd have to lifting weights without a license. I have to fine you. All right. Okay, switching gears to fitness. Do you think 1 gram per pound of body weight is excessive? No, it's not excessive. It's not going to hurt you, but it's more than you need. About 80% of that is where muscle growth completely caps out in every single study that looks at it in serious lifters. So it's about 0.8 grams per pound of body weight really should be your target. It's not going to hurt you to hit the gram, but if you're trying to maximize other nutrients, it's going to cost you some carbs or some fat, which means you could be getting more antioxidants, more fiber and stuff because of something else. Alan says, yeah, you got a license for that license, bro? 0.8 grams of protein and 0.1 gram of fat, good, am I right? Yeah, I mean, that shit covers you. Assuming, again, when we make that fat recommendation, that doesn't mean go eat a bunch of saturated fat. That's healthy fats. So the bodybuilder's eating 300 grams of protein are full of crap. Well, no, not if they're on 3 grams of gear. All right, if you're on 3 grams of testosterone, a gram of tren a week, 12 units of growth hormone a day, 400 units of insulin a day, some IGF-1, it makes a lot of sense. Well, you don't need more. You might, in theory, benefit from more if you're on more steroids. But even Nasser admitted when he saw all the data on 150, he's like, I went down to 150 grams and did just fine in the Olympia that year. Well, blasted grams of gear. He had said that one time. He realized some of the studies were saying you only needed whatever. He did like 150 grams probably for the Olympia and placed just fine. So not much else going on Facebook here. Billy, you still in here, bro? He asked about the squat shoes. Yeah, I still have 2 pairs of squat shoes. I just haven't been using them. We haven't been using the squat shoes. But the case could be, Shimar, that you might get some benefit, some extra use of the protein from muscle protein synthesis. You know, in theory. Right. But again, keep in mind that's hypothetical. Do you take creatine? Yes, I do 5 grams of creatine monohydrate a day. Billy's doing some cardio. Awesome, Billy. Keep doing. Jacob says, what kind of shoes do you regularly wear? I wear Timberland work boots when doing my walks. If I'm just in shorts or something, I usually wear Chuck Taylors. If I'm in blue jeans, I wear boots. Either snakeskin or lizard skin boots. I don't own any other types of shoes besides those things. But everything I own is boots or Chuck Taylors, either work boots or cowboy boots. I don't have any like tennis shoes or anything like that. I don't own anything like that. That was on Facebook. All right. Yeah, Shimar, I do 5 grams of creatine monohydrate a day. As you get it from NutriCoast, my current brand. I also have all that. Any of my supplements I use are all in my Amazon wish list. You can either check it out if you want to send something, but also will show you what I take. I checked that fat-free mass index calculator, 62 to 13% body fat is around 2. Yeah, that's pretty big. Yep. You sure you're 13%? Can you see your abs? Carol, be the question. What else happening on Facebook? Nothing. Just asking about shoes. But I don't really train in shoes as far as lifting, Jacob. I usually train barefoot right now. Your followers buy supplements. Sometimes they do. Shamar. Sometimes they do. They haven't been lately, but they have in the past. No, actually, one did. Someone bought me some fish oil a couple of weeks ago. Khaled says, hello, sir. Well, hello, Khaled. Hit that like button. You guys are in here rolling into this chat. Hit that like button. Get those likes up. Come on now. Billy says, why do you think there's so much bad contradictory information on fitness out there? Because of fad diets, scam diets, different people having their own ideas. Marketing, because, too much stuff. It's hard to sell if you stick with the basics, Billy. So the stuff that we know has worked since the 50s and 60s and 70s for getting people really jacked and strong and great physiques. Since it already works, if people want to put out new information, they have to contradict it all the time. Are you training barefoot because how quickly you wear out shoes? No, I train barefoot because it strengthens your feet. And then I'm not getting socks dirtier and shoes worn out. So yeah, I wear out shoes real fast. I burn through chucks super fast when I used to train in them with the weights I was using. I got busted so many. I've ruined like 6-7 pairs of them lifting weights. Like you're going to go through, if you're going to lift in shoes and you're strong, you're going to buy at least 1 or 2 new pairs of shoes every year just to work out in. If you're moving big weights, like I was doing at one time, 600 plus pound squats and deadlifts, dude, you burn through shoes so fast. They don't survive it, especially wide stance stuff. You bust the sides out of them. It doesn't happen with 300, 400 pounds so much. But just barefoot training in general is better. Like I learned all that from Christoph, and I agree. A lot of old school guys all did that, and it works great. A lot of gyms don't allow it. That's the problem. We come over. Shimar says, yeah, the basics aren't flashy. Everyone wants unrealistic progress. Right? Everyone wants fast progress, don't they? I want fast results. Well, that's not how it works. I want a cell phone that turns into a lightsaber, and I want a dragon that I can ride. I want $1 trillion. What do you think is going to happen first? Your super fast, unrealistic results or my dragon? I think they're going to happen about the same time, right? But yeah, everyone wants super flashy instead of understanding the basics and just good programming and good fatigue management and good form, consistency. Half of what I sell as a coach is consistency and accountability. I get people who they know how to train, they're stuck, they hire me, and then they get results mainly because I make them be consistent. Some of them who are already personal trainers, they're like, okay, it's that accountability. Coach is forcing that consistency, keeps their mindset on point. Jason, I think the audio is clipping. Well, I can't do anything about that. That's YouTube. Let me see if they adjusted my volume. Yeah, YouTube did turn my volume down a hair. Is that better? YouTube turned it down. Ever train consistently with a partner? No, I don't do well with workout partners. They're not consistent, then I got to schedule my life and other stuff around someone else with their stuff. It doesn't work. I've had my own little powerlifting team in the UK, but we didn't train together every workout, like once a week. $21 million. There we go. I'll take the 21 million. What's going to happen first? That or fast results, unrealistic results. But yeah, everyone wants fast results. That's not how it works. Stick to the basics, be consistent, do things correctly. We can hear Coach fine. Okay, cool, Peppermint. Good to know. Good to know. This hasn't been that bad. I don't like the bike cardio, so I haven't done any of these. I've been trying to walk, but I'm like, I really need to do them because really it lets me double dip. I can do both platforms. I technically make more money on YouTube from these when I do them on the bike, on the computer with this app instead of the phone app. But I just like walking more outside. But I'm going to have to, as Facebook does certain stuff, I'm going to have to double dip and do a lot more of these on the bike. So I got to get used to it. Hasn't been too bad so far, 45 minutes. It's reasonable. All right. Pretty reasonable. So we did an hour on the first walk. We're at 45 so far on the bike. We'll push a little further. I might go do another walk though. And then come back and get some other stuff done. If I can keep a connection out there, but I'm not as worried about it because we got a good stable stream here on everything. So it's not really that big of a deal, is it? But yeah, I'm glad you can hear me fine here, Peppermint. All right, anything else on Facebook? No, just my two people. No, that's good. All right, we got any other questions so that I can have a motivation to push through on this and actually hit the hour? Get some questions going, guys. Peppermint, Shamar, which doctor? What do we got? Get some topics. Keep it interesting. Coach, is it okay to do the assault bike after legs? I suppose. I wouldn't do high intensity cardio after legs. So how intense are you going on that bike? Aren't those bikes somewhat high intense? I think the list is fine after. Coach, which of the big three lists do you think progression is hardest on? Bench press. And the bench takes forever when you got long arms like me. So if you're asking as a general question, I don't think there is one. I think it depends on the person. For me personally, the bench. How are you aging backwards? What, Tyrone? I'm not aging back. What are you talking about? I'm not even on any growth. Dang, going as intense as possible, trying to figure out a way to fit it in. I live 4 days up or lower. Right? But why do you don't have, I mean, again, I'd be careful of HIIT cardio right after. I wouldn't have the energy. That leg day always leaves you feeling like you couldn't run for your life, right? That's what I'm thinking, man. After doing a bunch of squats on a leg day, trying to do that type of cardio, I don't know, man. I've done sled work after speed squats and stuff before, and that's just brutal. Could not push my sled. Eventually, we'll return to some of that stuff once this cut is closer to done. Might even eventually take up some jogging, but I need to be at a lighter weight. You're supposed to look in your mid-30s. When are you going to compete? I have no intention of competing in bodybuilding, Tyrone. Says you're a decent quad builder. Yeah, there's data on it. At least EMG activation shows it's really good. So sleds, in theory, should have some hypertrophic carryover to your legs, quads and glutes. Yeah. Coach, I dropped the weight vest months ago. Tyrone, we've discussed this in vast detail. The amount of cardio I'm doing with my training and the deficit, the load on the spine, the fatigue on the back, it's just too much. And it was giving me a farmer's tan. Is breath work a scam? Yeah, I think it is. I have a friend who she does it. She's big on it, and that's cool. But I think that's kind of silly, new agey woo. We do breath work. It's like chi, come on, guys. I'm just being silly. I suppose if you relax from it, meditative, anything that helps you relax has a relaxation benefit, I suppose. That's about it, though. Locked in, Coach. Love to see it. Thank you, Matt. We're pushing it along. I wouldn't mind doing sleds if I know where to do on my figure weight. Yeah, it's not always straightforward. Like even for me, I have the nylon feet on that one, but they're going to wear out. Then I got to replace them if I use it too much. You know, wear and tear on everything. It's kind of like my thought with treadmills. People are like, get a treadmill at home. I'm like, man, the wear and tear when you could just go, fuck. Are you serious? Those things have to be serviced. I get it at a gym because the gym is servicing all of it and taking care of it. I have people and companies that come do that, but you're opening it home. I don't know about all that. Let's see. Back over to Facebook. I've lost weight listening to this information. Excellent. Thank you. Hey, I appreciate it, Jacob. Thank you so much. Hey, Jacob, did you just subscribe just now? Awesome. Appreciate it. Do you notice feeling any different in general having lost weight? I'm not really. I can't say I feel honestly significantly different. It's only been 17 pounds. I can tell some of a little bit of DOMS here and there in the legs sometimes from all the walking occasionally. Hits me sometimes from the weekends, but I can't really say I feel particularly different, honestly, Billy, to be fair. Right? I wouldn't say. Not noticeable. Maybe as I get leaner and leaner, it will. Matt says recent photos look great. I think it's the first time I understood how really dense you are. Right? Looking lean in the face. Well, thanks, guys. Yeah, I mean, Matt, I've tried to tell people, look at the structure and all the powerlifting. I've got, I have a lot of muscle maturity and density underneath a bit of fluff. All those years of powerlifting matter. So as I get leaner, we're going to see that the same thing. People are like, oh, you're like, I have a small waist. I just have fat and loose skin around it. My waist was 30 inches after I lost weight as a runner. Like when I got down to 170 from over 300 pounds, I had a 30-inch waist. So I want to try to get back to that now as a lifter, and then we'll have that big V taper. Yeah, definitely. I think that side chest kind of shows where I'm at in terms of my structure and those angles. We definitely got the thickness going. So I'm going to keep working on that old school silver to golden era type physique. As I get leaner, really, I need to just keep getting leaner. And I do need to continue to work on my arms. Right? My arms are still going to be the weak link there. Biceps and triceps both really. But I've just got to get leaner and leaner and leaner and leaner. Stay on those. Says looking lean in the face, bro. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Tyrone, haven't caught as much of the lives. I've been away on the rig, so I must have missed the weight. Best talks. How about farmer? Tyson, I'm cutting super hard, crazy hard to get down to like 190. So I can't add any high intensity cardio, and it will absolutely destroy me because my workouts are brutal right now. Training hard 3 days a week and then hours and hours of less cardio. So there's just no way I can recover from any of that. Yeah, your community post where you're posting from the side looks incredible. We're going to look, and I that's kind of the look I want. So it's why I'm doing all the vacuums. I'm doing all the pullovers. I want that really thick V taper and torso that I have the structure for, and get the waist smaller and keep hammering the vacuums. So I think all the vacuum poses will really look good once we're lean enough. But I've got to drop another 20 pounds still. I really need to be 190. I'm still 210. Once coach gets shredded, it's over for many content guide outreach. Plus the info, right? That's the thing. Then all the decades of the training knowledge and the coaching, right? I think it'll do well because my name is already out there. I just need the physique. I think we'll do really well. Funny how leaning up makes you look bigger. It really does, Billy. It's hilarious. And I told that people, as I've been cutting, I literally had some people who are followers, like one of them messaged me who I've done some consults with. He's like, did you go on a bunch of growth hormone? You're just looking way thick. I'm like, dude, I'm not on any growth. What's the most list you would want to do before it's too much? I cap it at about 4 hours right now, personally. That's where I'm capping it. It starts, I went over 4 hours yesterday, though. 4 hours and 10 minutes. That's about my upper threshold in a day. And that's only on a non-training day. We're at almost 2 hours today though, because I did a full body workout. I did a Widowmaker squat set to failure during my full body workout today. It was my very first work set. So training days, I mean, you don't want to go too hard, but my non-training days for me about 4 hours is the upper cap, really. That's the point where I go, I need to look at diet further at that point rather than increasing all this cardio, because that's getting ridiculous. Where are we at on the timer? But that's the idea, Peppermint. I'm really hoping, especially if I get the weights really small, I think that will be a game changer. Mainly because I like the old school training methods. Anyone ever compare your physique? I think that would be very generous and far more kind than I'm worthy of in terms of that comparison, Tyson or Tyrone. Sorry, Tyrone. I apologize for getting your name wrong, man. Although I do consider Frank Zane to have a more or less ideal physique. I think that would be kind of the ideal that I would shoot for, somewhere between Frank Zane to Reg Park. But I don't think that would be a fair comparison. Like, I'm not going to look that good at any point. So that's a little bit flattering and a bit over the top comparison, if anyone made that. Dang, already? Yeah. So yeah, today I'm at almost 2 hours. We're about to hit 2 hours on a lifting day. So I'm going really hard on it. So this is over on Facebook as far as the cardio. All right, back to the tubes. The views are trickling down on the YouTube. All of a sudden, what happened? I guess people got bored. I'm going to stop this at the hour, though, guys. We did an hour on the walk. I'm going to do an hour on the bike. I might do another short walk here in a bit, but that's 2 hours of fasted cardio on a lifting day is quite a bit. Looking forward to seeing your posts later on Facebook and then you guys trying to debate you, right? Peppermint, I get in some stuff on there. People on the YouTube don't realize I'm really a Facebooker, not a YouTuber. Other than these lives, I do way more Facebook content than YouTube. And everything I put on YouTube goes on Facebook anyways. Is there a huge benefit to squatting pause versus not pausing versus still going? We could get into big debates on that, feed me. I don't know necessarily on muscle growth. I don't know that there's a huge benefit. We could argue more time spent in the lengthened position if you buy into that, but realistically, probably not. From a hypertrophy perspective, you're probably just fine doing them touch and go, but ass to grass. In fact, you're going to get really good growth results from doing that. All right. Billy says, thoughts on ab etching procedure they say some legs may be getting. Man, that seems like a lot of trouble and then recovery when you could just diet. You could just diet and cardio to the abs without all that ab etching and recovery time and tubes. Because it really is just a form of liposuction, to my knowledge. That's fairly invasive. That's really invasive versus losing another 5 to 10 pounds through diet and cardio. That would be my thoughts on it, All right. That would be my thoughts. I just can't say that I can see that really being that justified versus just doing the work, But a lot of celebrities, the lifestyle they live, they got to have their drinking and their alcohol and, their parties. So it just seems like a lot where they could just diet a little more. Because again, that's invasive. You have downtime, you have recovery. Right? It's not like you're going to go get the ab etching and go squat 3 days later. So for people who are serious about their fitness, I don't know that that's really would be the wisest choice. Because I can't be taking downtime. I mean, for me, I mentally have to be able to train. It's really vital. All right, guys, we're going to wind this down shortly. We're about to hit the hour. But doesn't benching pause build more growth in the pecs versus touch and go? Not necessarily, feed me. Not if it's a very soft touch and go, and not if it's taken to the same rate of perceived exertion or proximity to failure. I don't know that it does necessarily cause more. It's the bouncing off the chest that costs you growth. Pausing is just really good for anyone who can't do a super soft touch. All right, guys, it is time to wind this down, though. So I love you guys. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.